This is ASSoluto Racing, and this is a McDonald's Big Mac. While they do have obvious differences, and I'm sure you can guess what some of them are, there are similarities. For one, after spending $15, or in this case 15 hours on ASSoluto Racing, I've come to realize although some parts were pretty good, it might not be as good as I thought it was. And unfortunately it's too late, so I just have to let it rip and tear through my stomach, or in this case make a video complaining about it. This game, made by Infinity Vector, sets out to be a mobile alternative of Gran Turismo, which in many aspects I will say it does pretty well. But it also has some things you probably wouldn't see in Gran Turismo. So you're given these two ways to play. Now I am a buttons guy, but I'm kind of curious as to what makes tilts a suitable method for experienced players. I guess the turning is more intricate, but I feel like that can vary depending on your device. The tutorial is pretty much just a quick little lap, and I really liked it. The GTR was pretty fun. Don't mind the terrible gameplay though. I was eating. After that, you're given three options for a first car: a French Mobile, a 2G Eclipse, and the GTR you just used. And here's where we run into the first issue. Look, I get it, mobile games have to make money somehow, but bro, I just started. But I chose the Peugeot because it looks stupid. And after choosing my first car, I get hit with a pop-up ad. Now again, I know mobile game, but they're advertising an event that already ended. Even if I wanted to, it's a little too late for me to act fast. I respect the hustle though. Maybe. But now I finally get a glimpse of the layout, and honestly, thank you for making it simple and not some overcomplicated, convoluted garbage. And the car posted up at this location is an interesting play. It's weirdly calming. You're at this sort of mall, but it kind of works. I thought it would look out of place, but it's kind of nice. I also like the multiple different angles you get of the car posing. Honestly, this is really cool. I like this a lot. But let's take a look at the dealership. I like how it's just as calm and upbeat here. And when it comes to the cars, it's a little confusing. So there's a pretty good amount, but they do feel weirdly priced. This is probably due to a game like this not needing a hierarchy, but this does come at the cost of value for money. For example, the E30 M3 costs a little less than the E92, even though the capabilities of the cars are severely different. This isn't really a bad thing, just keep this in mind when you're looking to buy cars. Is that the RX-8? Get this monstrosity off of my screen. I better not see you in any other video game again. You too, RX-7. Weird door handle lock car. Anyways, there's plenty of options to choose from, and the music playing is such a vibe. There is one thing that's kind of confusing though. So the cars are ranked from F to Twitter, but I'm not sure how these cars are ranked. Like, there are some S-class cars that are kind of cheap, and then cars in a lower class that are kind of difficult to get. I'm not sure what I'm missing here, but I found this weird. There are tons of cars you can buy with the two currencies they provide, but you can also import. So it is a gacha system, and if what I'm reading is correct, you have a chance to win a tier 1 to 5 car with every drop, with of course tier 4 and 5 cars being the hardest to get. Now the issue for me is they don't show what the tier 1 to 3 cars could be, so it's likely just some random car from the dealership, and if you happen to get a duplicate, they'll compensate you in currency. Look, I'm sure there's plenty of reasons as to why they have this system, but stuff like this really pushes me away from games, and I only complain about it so much because there are good games out there that don't rely on this stuff at all. I can understand it being here, but it's still off-putting, especially since if you're looking for a really good car, you have a less than 10% chance of winning it, and it's even lower than that if you're looking for a specific one, because there's a lot of tier 4 and 5 cars. Now, if you spend 500 gold and import 7 cars at the same time, a tier 4 or 5 car is guaranteed, but 1, that's a lot of gold, and 2, there's still a chance you'll get a duplicate, and with a 1.5% chance of winning a tier 5 car, I'd be pretty heated if I got the same thing. There are some game modes you can play that require a certain level for you to unlock them, and within those modes lie even more game modes. For single player, there's driving school, free run, unmodified, modified, drift mode, tandem, rally. There's a lot to do here. Driving school is honestly pretty funny. You just gotta do very basic things like braking and turning. It's so funny getting gold by just hitting the brake button, but I will say the circle and front wheel drive and rear wheel drive were pretty challenging. It took a while, but I was pretty satisfied once I beat them. A big highlight of this game is the fact that it has real tracks. They have rally courses, a Tokyo Speedway, an airport, and even a 2-gate track. Now I'm sure you've noticed this has come at the cost of the graphics. They suck mule dick, but I wouldn't want my phone becoming a C4 trying to simulate the Nurburgring in high quality. If you're a trackinista, you'll see this as a valuable trade-off. I do want to talk about the gameplay though. Look, I don't mind admitting that I suck at some racing games, but these physics feel kinda weird. In the Puget, I didn't really notice, but I definitely did once I used the S2000 and the Camaro. I know those cars are rear-wheel drive, but they felt very fishtaily, like the slightest turn would have it spinning out. And I think this is kind of the bigger issue with games like this. It's just really difficult to emulate realistic physics on a phone. You can't be as intricate as if you were using a controller or a dedicated rig, so you have to resort to utterly failing or becoming a simcade, which I don't mind simcades, I just don't want to hear realistic physics when that's obviously not the case. I haven't tested other cars, they could be very different, but I don't know, I just didn't enjoy using these. Some of it felt like a lack of my personal skill, and some of it felt like the physics just suck. You get a pretty decent reward though. It can range from 400 to 1000 CR, but longer tracks give bigger rewards. The customizations and upgrades aren't really much. There are some paint options available, but most of them aren't, and the ones that are you have to pay for. In my opinion, in a game like this, I feel like the paint should be free, but in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't really matter that much. You can also paint other things like your wheels and calipers, and the upgrades are okay. So you can go from stock to a sports or racing version. You can use whatever suits your needs, but it's really simple. But here's where things get really disappointing. So as you would expect, this game has microtransactions, but they take it a step further. So they have a subscription plan where you pay $5 a month to have access to other microtransactions. That is ballistic. They said, you too broke. You need to pay more. I have never seen anything like that before. And their boost packs are just superb value. So for $1, you can buy 20,000 CR, but for 10 times the price, you can get 5 times more. Or wait, you can get the AR starter pack or the GTR special pack, which is the same thing but with the GTR. Such value for money. I'm gonna bust. And they're all one-time offers. Dog, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. You can just buy the boost pack 5 times to get more than the starter pack for less money. And it's funny because their packs are even worse. 8,000 CR for $5. Amazing. You can just buy the boost pack for $1 and have over double that. Oh, but don't worry. If you're broke, you can just watch an ad and get 1 coin. Yeah, no, this sucks. This is diabolically butt cheeks. At least structure your microtransactions in a way where things don't seem like a bad value for money. Piss off, dog. Other than a lot of the boring and confusing things, ASSoluto Racing isn't that bad of a game. Although, it's just not my cup of tea. There's quite a lot to love, like the tracks and cars. But these weird monetary systems and janky physics is what's keeping me away from it. There are many ways it could be better, but you know how these games are, so that's likely not gonna happen. But who knows, it might.